Well, fighting June 15th, UFC fighter Jimmy Flick. And right now, he's cooking some stuff up in the kitchen. Jimmy, what's on the menu?
Icon Mills, man. Shout out to Icon Mills with the UFC, sending me chicken, vegetables, rice, sweet potatoes. Man, it's gonna be a great fight camp. I'm eating good, I'm feeling good, and we still got 6.5 weeks to go.
Yeah, man, tasty stuff right there. Everyone that posts the icon stuff, I'm like, oh, I want some of that. It looks delicious. And dude, let me just start with, UFC 297, big win, new contract because of it. What have you been up to since then? Just training your ass off?
Oh yeah, man. I had some goals that I need to take care of. Life was a little tough for me. I was living with grandma and grandpa for a little bit, dude. And so the big win really got my own place now, got me and my girls a 3 bedroom. In 2024, I have 3 goals right now, and that was get a new UFC contract. We did that. Got me and my girls a home. I did that, and then now we'll make over $100,000 this year, and we're gonna accomplish that when we take out Nate Maness June 15th.
Damn, man, getting me jealous of all that bankroll flowing, brother. And let's
Let's
talk about
go.
the let's talk about the new contract, man. 4 fight deal. I don't need to know, the specifics, but like, is it a bump up from last contract? Like this, like you feeling better about this one?
Oh yeah, man, they doubled me up, man. That's about the easiest way to say it, man. And it's a dream come true, to actually get that UFC contract. And I put it into perspective the other day, like this is my 5th UFC fight, like some people never get to say that. So I'm going into my 5th UFC fight with the new contract. I'm fighting one of 3 opponents, I believe, that's fought at 3 weight classes and had a win. He's got wins at 45, 35, and 25. But he's been finished at 125 in the UFC, no other weight class. And I plan to continue his finishing streak at 125.
And before I ask you more about Nate in this upcoming fight, tell me about some goals you have with this contract. Like, I don't know. I've been talking to fighters lately, and I feel like usually everybody's like, I want to be champion, I want to be champion. But lately, I've been getting different answers. Like people are like, I want to cross off some things from the bucket list. I want to do some fun stuff. I want to have fun fights. I want to make money. So, like, what is it for you? Like with these next 4 fights, what do you want to do with them?
What I want to do is with the rest of this year, I'd like to get this fight in June, get one more before the end of the year to really jump me up in the rankings to chase that title in 2025. That's what I told everybody. 2025 is the year that I feel I'm going to be able to have that shot at that title. But also with this new contract, my goal is to buy a home. I mean, that's what I want. I'm about to be 34 years old in September. I want my girls to have a home, my future family to have a home, and that's my goal right there in the long run. And then have a setback to open my own gym. I mean, I'm gonna give back to my community where I came from, born and raised. Everybody always asks me if I'm going anywhere, and I'm not going nowhere. I mean, this is what got me there. That's what's keeping me there, and what motivates me to stay there. So uh, at the end of it, I know I'm gonna have a gym, and I'm gonna give everything back to my community and build some monsters out of Sand Springs, Oklahoma.
Love it, brother. Love it. And then, backtracking a little bit to UFC 297. I thought it was absurd you were coming into this fight as an underdog. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. You went out there and showed everybody what the hell was up. So, like, I don't know. Walk me through that fight, man. Like, because I know you were behind enemy waters, and I remember telling you, like, hey, man, enjoy that fight week. Like, pay-per-views fly by. So, like, how was the experience overall?
Dude, it was a great experience. When I came into town, I knew I was there to do one thing only, and that was to take care of business and to keep my job. I feel Malcolm Gordon broke that week. I mean, he knew he needed to make weight. He knew that he needed to win, and he knew he needed to showcase in front of his fans. That's why he came out so hard, so aggressive. I mean, he had to finish me in good fashion if he wanted to keep his job. He missed weight back to back, and he had an opportunity to fight in front of his hometown, his home country. And they brought me in, gave him a great matchup, gave him the favorite. I didn't agree with that either. So we know these odds on the next fight are going to be good. So y'all better cash in on Jimmy Flick by submission, baby. I tell you what, I'm more than excited to be a underdog in every fight, and that one was amazing. I was the first American to walk to the cage. I was the first person to walk to the cage. In the first pay-per-view of the year, and they were booing me, and if you listen between round 1 and 2, they're chanting "Flick sucks dick," and that's why I celebrated the way I celebrated. I was like, yeah, let me hear it now, you know. So, and then we got on the mic, you know, and told a little bit about my story and giving the gloves to my father, and I got a lot of good feedback from that, and got to go watch the fights. Never get to do that at the Apex, so fans were amazing, man. It was a blast, man. I had so much fun after the event as well, and then flew back home and was getting ready for this new contract. And now we got Nate Maness. We're back at the Apex, but they're allowing me to bring 4 fans, 4 family members to watch and then go right after. So, hey, it's better. You know, I ain't going to complain. I'm just happy to still be in the UFC and showcasing my skills.
And let's talk Nate Maness, man, because this is a good one. This is a good matchup. You seem to think you're getting that submission. So what do you see in his game or your game that allows that to happen?
Uh, Nate Maness, man, I mean, he's well rounded and everything, but I would say his biggest problem is he accepts the takedown when he does get taken down. And that's one thing you don't do against me. I proved it against Malcolm Gordon. It doesn't matter how far behind I am, one takedown and I will change that fight. One submission and I'll change the fight. And I had Malcolm Gordon in trouble multiple times, and I go for the kill. It's killed or be killed in there. I've never hit the scorecards in the UFC octagon. I've had 5 fights in the octagon, and I've finished in round 1, round 2, and round 3. Not many flyweights can say that. I'm in the history books for hitting the flying triangle. I'm in the history books for the biggest comeback in flyweight history by significant strikes. And come June 15th, I'm trying to jump in the history books again. I want to be the most, have the most submission attempts in the flyweight history, or most submission wins in the flyweight history. And that's what I'm chasing. I'm not saying I can't knock people out. I honestly believe I can. Coach Leo over at Forza Combat Skills has really sharpened my skills. And a lot of people haven't got to see it, but trust me, inside the gym, we're putting in the work. Just out there, it's a different environment. Some things happen, but June 15th, I got the great matchup versus Nate Maness. I think they're going to underestimate me. I'm going to be a big underdog. It motivates me, and we're going to cash in big time.
I mean, you're just selling the fight more than I ever could, man. That's giving me goosebumps, dude. It's going to be a good one. And is there any chance this is bumped a week earlier? I saw you guys are campaigning for this a little bit. Getting in Louisville, is that happening?
Man, you're not gonna believe it, dude. Like, I got told yes, and then literally like 4 hours later, they said they messed up and realized there's too many fights on the card. So
No.
there's like 15, 16 fights that have been scheduled. Of course, they probably scheduled so many because they do expect a few to fall up. But
Sure.
UFC, if you are watching this and too many people fall off, I'll be ready. I know Nate Maness will be ready. It's his hometown, his home state. He wants it. I want it. I'm really surprised he didn't rally it before I did. You know,
Yeah.
I thought he would have, and maybe we could have made it happen. But I'm staying ready. I mean, I can make the wait if it's a week earlier. If not, June 15th, it is. And I'm just excited to get back in the octagon. It doesn't matter what state or where it's at. I'm showing up to perform and take care of business.
And this coming weekend, dude, UFC 301. And the reason I bring that up is because the title of your division is on the line, obviously. Alexandre
Yeah.
Pantoja, Steve Erceg. So how do you see that one going down?
Man, Ursek, man, he's made a big splash in the division. You know, they gave this to him for a reason, you know, and I think it's a great opportunity. This guy has nothing to lose, and he's coming off of a knockout. And if y'all notice, his only decision win is to Alessandro Costa, who, you know, finished me in the second round. But that just motivates me to tell me I'm on that level. I know I am. I didn't have the training camp I needed. Costa kicks off that card as well, so I'll be watching that fight real closely. And so they kick it off with the 25ers, and they're going to finish it with the 25ers. I want to see Erceg shock the world, man. And if he doesn't shock the world, I think he's just going to get outworked by Pantoja, just like Roy Val did. And that's why Pantoja is one of the best in the world. This guy's fought at 35-25. I mean, my first time to watch him fight, he put Demasio Page to sleep. And I've been a fan ever since from the head and arm. And I believe that was on the Ultimate Fighter, or it might have been when he fought for the RFA, LFA title when they merged and stuff. So I've been watching him forever, and I'm excited to see this fight. And I think the UFC did a good job bringing in Ursek, and I think it's going to be a big splash in the flyweight division this weekend.
And dude, like you've also been staying busy outside of the UFC. You competed on Fury Grappling, which is very close to home to me. I'm very close to the Fury guys and Jonathan Webb and all them. So you ever gonna get back on a Fury card? And if so, can you come to Philly, man? I gotta meet you.
Dude, they're gonna be there May 25th. I wish, or 24th. I wish I could have got on that card. And man, them guys, we created a great relationship in that week I was there. And most definitely I'll be back. And I would really like to get that match back versus Cohen as well. Just based on the fact that it was my first time with the rule sets and everything like that. And I was more worried about him sitting on his butt at the beginning, so I shot in way too soon because I just wanted to get the takedown.
Yeah.
I wish I would have flowed a little more and looked for the takedown to pass. And now that I understand the rule set a little better, I had some fun with it. I entertained the crowd, got to enjoy myself, travel to Savannah, Georgia. But yeah, I'm trying to come up to Philly, and hopefully June 15th, we get this business done, taken care of, and then get back in Fury. Fight to win. I love competing, so I'm just trying to stay active. I'm an entrepreneur. I do card shows all over the U.S. I want to compete all over the U.S. and then, show my skills all over the world.
You also, I see, have been commentating a little bit, smoking guns. Like, is
And
there a
actually,
future in commentating, man?
I've been commentating for like 3 years now, and man, like I just feel like every time I commentate, my suits get flyer, and I get better. And Smoking Guns is a great event. We got the cops versus the firefighters. It was the 9th event that they had. It was 4-4, meaning the cops have won the event 4 times. The firefighters had won 4 times. It came down to the last 2 fights of the night. It was back and forth, man. I love going in the back, getting to know these guys, introducing myself, learning about them. Some of them train, some of them don't on that show because it's cop versus firefighters. And then I've done some other shows with freestyle cage fighting and what was it, XFN. I've done on Fight Pass one time. So I'm working my way up. I still got some things to work on and pronouncing names right and better, but I really enjoy it. I would love to be an announcer, but I don't have the pronunciation to be able to pronounce some of the names to be an announcer.
Oh, dude,
But I
some of
can
them Russian dudes, like,
yeah.
I
I'm
wish.
like, bring me in with somebody else and just let me pick a few fights that I know I can pronounce their name, and then let me get in there because I know the adrenaline to give, to bring to the crowd, the excitement. Like I'm very good and loud on a mic, and that's what I want to do. Like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to do everything. This whole career is going to set me up for so many options. And once I'm done fighting, we'll see where everything goes. But my gym's 100% what's going to happen.
I mean, dude, why can't everyone have a name as easy as Jimmy Flick? You know what I mean? That's nice and easy to roll off the tongue. And Jimmy, last question for me, man. You said you want to get another fight in this year, ideally. Any cards you're eyeing up? Any opponents maybe you'd like to fight? I mean, second contract, you can kind of call your shots more now, man.
Yeah, I say we go in here, we take out Nate Maness. There's a guy I really, really respect. He's been in a real weird position in his career, so I think it would make sense for him. He respects me. We've talked on and off social media. Came up from a show called Caged. I watched him as an amateur come up, and I was like, I should have been on that show, man. But I lived in Texas. It happened in Louisville. Matt Schnell, I think that'd be a great one, especially where he's been right now in his career. I believe he wants to come back, and why not fight one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the flyweight division after coming off of a loss like he did, and see if I'm in, a chance to jump in the rankings after this win, and then see if he's, going to keep his spot in the rankings. And I think that's what the UFC looks for. That's why I asked to bump me and Nate up to the Louisville card. What are they going to do? Say no? That's okay. But closed mouths don't get fed. And I'm here to get fed, and the UFC's feeding me. So I'm going to take it all in. And I'm starving, So most of these guys are hungry. I'm not hungry no more. I'm starving, and I proved it against Malcolm. I'm going to prove it against Nate when these odd makers make me a plus 400. And I'm going to keep proving myself to the UFC.
I don't think it'd be a plus 400. That would be absolutely absurd. If you're a plus
That's my
400, bro,
guess.
we're winning some money on Jimmy Flick, brother. But Jimmy,
Let's
man,
go.
before I get you out of here, anything you want to say to all your fans? If so, Mike is yours.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate all my sponsors, all my supporters. You can follow me on Instagram at The Brick MMA. You can follow me on Facebook at Jimmy the Brick Flick. You can follow me on TikTok at The Brick MMA. I'm on Twitter at Jimmy Flick, known as X now. And shout out to all my sponsors. I love them so much. I got every single one memorized because they keep jumping on board. So shout out to Harvest Health Dispensary, Tulsa Sport Acupuncture, Minuteman Plumbing of Tulsa, International Crematory Services, Industrial Motor Services, the Broadway Barbershop, the Parlor Hair and Ink, Inkwell Printing, HKA USA, Forza Combat Sports and Broken Arrow, my lawyer, Palmer Law, GG2 Sports and Card Show, Vista Pools and Outdoor Living in Kiefer, Oklahoma, Rich Fairbanks with MAJ Mafia, my jiu-jitsu coach, Micah Stockton. He's a black belt. He's a Marine, and he's my insurance broker. So you need an insurance broker, you hit up Micah Stockton. I appreciate all my sponsors. Follow me, support me. I got merchandise. You can hit me up on all social media accounts. And June 15th, we're cashing in. Let's go.
Dude, if you can memorize all that, you can crank out a Nurmagomedov or something on the mic. You're good, brother. But ladies and gentlemen, June 15th, maybe June 8th, Jimmy the Brick Flick kicks it off with the new contract. Thank you so much, brother.
All right, thank you.